Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I wanted to cover the Pro Power on board on the 2021 F150 Powerboost. That's the full hybrid model. As I discussed in one of my other videos, the if you order this thing, fully loaded with you have to have the power boost, and then on top of that, you'll need to order the 7.2 kilowatt generator function. Otherwise, you would just get the 120 volt 20 amp outlets, and you would not get the 240 volt 30 amp outlet. So as equipped, if once you get that feature, you'll end up with a total of four 120 volt 20 amp outlets, and then you get the one 240 volt 30 amp. So the thing with this is, this will be like a little kind of a electronics lesson. So this style plug is what you would see on a generator, which is nice because that's standard outlet type, so that it's easy to get. So as you can see, I ordered from Amazon an adapter to go to the RV. Now that being said, you'll see that it's a 240 volt outlet. Unfortunately, the RVs run off of, on the 30 amp circuits with the RVs, they run off of 120 volt. So the way it works is, on a standard outlet, you've got three prongs, right? So you've got a hot, where your voltage comes from, you've got your neutral, and then you've got the ground at the bottom. With a 240 volt circuit, you actually end up with, still you have the ground, still you have your neutral, but now you've got two hots. So you've got two 120 volt circuits, basically out of phase with each other, so they add up to 240 volts. So you'll see on this adapter that I got, which I haven't even opened yet, you've got the four prongs, the generator style plug, and then you've got the normal RV 30 amp plug. So basically what you're doing is you're taking one of those, the 120 volt lines that I told you about, that there's two, you're just dropping one of them. So now you end up with, out to the camper or the RV or whatever it is, you'll have your ground, your neutral, and your hot, and that hot is still 120 volts. So you won't have any problem frying your RV or anything like that. In our case, which I'll walk over to the plug, our RV has 50 amp service, so that complicates things a little bit. Not too bad, because this is something anybody with a 50 amp RV is already familiar with. This, you end up going to an RV park, and all of a sudden you get there and there's only a 30 amp outlet. So you just need to have an adapter to go from this 50 amp style down to the 30, and then that'll meet up just fine with this. So I'll do a quick example, just cut away, and then we'll show you how it all connects together. So as you can see here, I've got everything that I'll need to connect to my 50 amp supplied camper. We've got the generator adapter that will go from the generator style connector to the 30 amp. I've got a 30 amp extension cord that you probably wouldn't need, just because where I've got the RV parked, I can't get the truck close enough. So you would just use your normal 30 amp cable or your 50 amp. So you wouldn't need that extension cable at all. And then lastly, over on the right side here, we've got this is the adapter I was telling you about that goes from the 50 amp that's on the RV to the 30 amp that will be on this adapter over here on the left side. And then lastly, this is just this is a cheap Camco little circuit analyzer. Supposedly it's got some surge protection built in as well. I'm not sure how reliable it is, but I like to use it. And it's got different color codings for different circuit issues that you might run into, such as like open neutrals, open grounds, things like that. It's just got the color LEDs. So I like to use it just so I get a little information when I go to a campground, so I don't make a stupid mistake and fry the RV. So all we'll do is we'll take the adapter, plug that into the circuit analyzer, and then I will open up the adapter for the truck, and then we'll plug this into here. And you can get these as just a little tiny adapter. I don't really like those. I like the flexibility of the dog bones, they call them. Just because otherwise you've got the 50 amp cable on the RV is very rigid, and it gets kind of clunky, and it's just too rigid for for this kind of use, where you're kind of going from the truck and up and over the tailgate and over to the camper. It's just too much. So I actually, even though this looks like a lot, I actually prefer it this way. Now in my case, because I need the extension cord, I'm actually going to have to pop this off, and I'm actually going to have to run this in first. So this will go to the truck, and then from here, this is the part that will actually go to the RV. So plug this in here, and then that goes to the RV. So as you can see, I've got the adapter going from the 50 amp to the 30 amp extension cord, and if we follow that up to the truck, that goes to the generator adapter, which I will I'll link that and the dog bone one that I've got, and then I'll link the just the fixed one as well, in case you already have an extension or dog bone, or just prefer the smaller one. So from there, let me just move this over. So from there, you would simply, if you look, one of these legs has a little kind of like a 45-degree angle to it, so you just need to match that up. This one has a slight bend to it. That's why it's not fitting. There we go. So that is plugged into the truck, and now we just need to go into the truck to turn the generator on. So this is a perfect way to show off the generator function, since coincidentally my battery is dead. So I have no power, none of the lights are turning on. So this would be a perfect example of just showing that the truck is actually powering the RV. So once you plug the RV into the truck, you're going to want to get in and start the engine. Again, it's a hybrid, so you won't hear anything. Alright, so now it'll actually give you that notification. A bed outlet cover is open and something may be plugged in. Before shifting out of park, confirm it's safe to move the vehicle. So it's just letting you know, hey, don't drive away with the anything plugged in. So let's go to Pro Power on board. And now it'll say something is plugged into the outlet. Do you want to supply power to the outlet? So basically you're just telling it to turn it on. So we'll hit yes. And then it tells you in generator mode, your engine will continue to run to supply power to the outlets. Only use the vehicle outside. That's to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning and all that. So don't run this in a garage. So we'll close that. So it is turned on. So right now we're not pulling really any current at all, because it's or supplying much power, because it's saying less than 200 watts. So let's switch over to the RV and turn a few things on. So as you can see, when the generator is running, you actually get a little yellow LED there, so you know that it's turned on. So now that we're in the RV, we'll see if we got lights, which we do. Let's see if we can put a slide out. So we got one slide out. So as you can see, the video cut out, but everything seems to be working just fine with the truck powering the RV. I didn't put the other slide out yet, but just as a quick demo, seems to be working just fine. Obviously, we're going to do a much longer term demo. Actually, in another month or so, we've booked a completely off-grid campsite. So we want to do. It's going to be a 3-night trip. Just running off of the F150. So I think that'll be a great long-term example that I haven't really seen anybody do yet. So I'm back in the truck. One thing that you could also do, so I know I had to click a few buttons to get to this screen here. Let me just go back to, I don't know, settings or something, just so it's a different screen. Another thing you can do is, you see this button right up here? It's got a little outlet, plus or minus. If I hit that, that'll turn all the outlets off. Low power mode on, generator mode on. So that'll actually, that's a quick way to switch between the modes. So that way, you don't have to go searching around on the touch screens, just because I know they're a little clunky. And then you can also turn it back off again. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, I'm going to do some more, real testing. This was just kind of a first go at it, make sure everything worked, and there weren't any issues. We'll have some more videos upcoming just on the generator function and kind of real time, long-term use, fuel usage in the truck, and just any limitations that we find, and just how we find the experience over a few days at least. And then I will link in the description below this cable that seems to be working just fine. Seems to be built just fine, no different than any of the kind of the Camco dog bone adapters. And then I'll link one of the one of the non-dog bone adapters down there as well. So thanks, guys. If you like this video, share, subscribe, all that. I appreciate it. Thanks.